like that. Okay, careful. Alright, let it sit there. What's going on, everybody? It's Donovan here with Team Tate Outdoors. Today's video is going to be all about finishing our fireplace. Months ago, we posted a video showing how we put our fireplace in and got our smokestack out the ceiling and out the roof and put all that stuff in for it. And today we're actually going to be finishing our fireplace. We're going to be putting on a Clipstone. Rocks is a do-it-yourself, basically mortarless stoning process. And we're going to be putting in our mantle that we made and finishing out the ceiling, finishing out the fireplace all the way to the ceiling with board and batten, and then getting some taxidermy and our TV mounted. So stick with us. It's going to be a pretty cool video. Just seeing all this stuff come together, and it's been months in the making. So we're going to jump right into the stone portion. If you want to go see how we got to this point with the fireplace, there will be a link in the description to our last video that we did concerning the fireplace, so you can get caught up to where we're actually at right now. So let's jump into the video. All right, guys, talking about Clipstone. If you're putting up Clipstone, a trick I just figured out, and I'm gonna show you right now in our fireplace. Here's our back wall. This is the gap that was left because you can't put anything here. Now we are gonna use the stones and slide the wire up in this section and allow the stone to overhang and then screw it on the side. For instance, like this will slip up here, like that, and then we'll anchor, and there's where you screw, okay? But check this out. So then I was worried, how are we going to get to the edges to make that look right? Well, Clipstone has these pieces that look like this. They're basically something that sticks out. They're perfectly straight because they're gonna be the edging just like this. And so with that edge, the very corner of these are rounded. Let me show you what we're gonna do with that round edge. If you can think about, look at this corner, this edge, and that edge is going to slide right over, and that reveal is cut away. So now we're not gonna have any look of the stone or gaps, just like that. So we'll show you how we're gonna put that together. Continue the process of putting these stones on top of one another, leveling them off, cutting them, and continuing up through the fireplace. They are a friendly do-it-yourself product. However, just be prepared to spend plenty of time working with it, because I don't think they're specifically designed for what we're using them for, but they did work out really well once we figured some things out. All right, guys, so it's time to tackle the ceiling here. And did we what?
Did you physically tackle it?
Yeah, we have. I hurt my elbows. Okay, so what we're gonna do, you see we've got this box here, and it's got tin, and it slips in and gets screwed in from this direction. We needed to go behind it, but obviously you have to screw in screws. What we did, we used is perfect. We made it just a big enough gap where we can slide these in. So what we did was we broke off this big end. We're using these ones to slide in there with tension And then if there's any screw left, we're gonna put a screw in it. And then on this back side, so far, what we have figured out what we can do is slide these in to the gap we have, and we're gonna see if that's gonna work out or not. It may not work out. We may have to do a similar thing here. But let's just keep rolling with this time lapse. But that is how we put together the Clipstone on the ceiling. And by the way, because of the strength of this, I didn't film it, but I am gonna show you guys what I did. I went ahead and on the top of my cement board, I added plywood and added some 2x6s and nailed those to the trusses that we made across there to give our screws something else strong to screw to so that those stones don't pull the screws right out of the cement board. So now that we got that all braced up, these screws are going right through the cement board, right into the wood. We don't have to worry about them falling off. You would think that such a small area could be done quite quickly, but every single stone we had to cut with our hand saw just to make it fit perfect, and each one is like a puzzle piece. And it wasn't as easy as you think, and it did take a long time just to do such a small area. But by taking our time to do it, made it turn out really well, and getting the right size pieces is what it's all about. All right, let's try this. Watch your feet. Okay, all right. Turn it up, yep, like that. Okay, careful. All right, let it sit there. Hold that. No, just hold it for a second. Now, if anybody has middle kids, the middle child seems to always be somewhat the troublemaker or the one that wants to try dad. So here, I'm supposed to be having Jeremiah hold it, but he just continues to play around and let go of the board. Normally, I would have cut something like this out, but I thought it was quite funny because his brother and him were arguing about who's going to be holding it, and everything is a game to Jeremiah. But they did a great job listening to Dad and dealing with my slow work ethic when trying to do this, because that beam is not light.
Oh, can you not? Again.
Okay, toss her back up there. That's how I planned for it to finish out, Matt. Like that, originally. All right, I'm gonna drop this. No. That's gonna look good. Now guys, one thing real quick. We never finish anything unless it's after midnight, because that's how we do things. This one more. Once we slipped it over, we did put 2 self-tapping screws in there to hold it in the back.
That.
There we go, but I do think it needs to twist a little.
Looks good.
Guys, there it is. And the last piece is to wire it. Okay. Now let me turn the fireplace on and we'll see if we have a fan.
Is the breaker on?
Yeah. Let's see if the power's working to the switch. Would that be a punch in the nuts if it's not working? Please work, Lord.
Oh, the power's not working. I don't think you have breaker on. Did you have the breaker on?
Yeah, the breaker's on. So that's a good sign because at least we know the power's not working.
It's not the stove, it's the power.
Oh, wait. I'll switch them around and we'll see what happens. What I think the issue is right here. We had our power going to our switch hooked to this one. This is a 3-way switch. On a 2-way switch, on a regular single pole, that would have been where you put it. But I believe on a 3-way, you got to put it on this black one. It's either going out of it or it's coming into it. The line goes into this one. So, all right, I'm gonna turn the power on and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, it does work and it's in place. We've got it rocked. We've got the mantle kind of attached right now. We still have to put our big lag bolts in. But I got to go to Lowe's in the morning and get a long drill bit big enough to go through two 2x12s and a 4-inch gap and into the back of the mantle. We're gonna mount it from the back, then we're gonna cover this with this stuff right here, and then we're gonna paint that, we're gonna trim it out, and it's gonna look a lot like the rest of our trim in our kitchen. So we'll finish that right now. All right, so just as to find out the depth that I'm gonna need to drill this in to find out, make sure I anchor enough into this mantle. Here's the distance that I have to cover right here, okay? And my drill bit is that long, and I'm gonna be drilling at an angle like this. So I know that I'm gonna have to sink that drill bit completely to the wood, and that will give me about 4 inches of screw into my mantle. So I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna go ahead and mount this right now. All right, I like that angle. All right, so now that I know the angle, I'm gonna go ahead and drill all 5 holes, pilot holes, make sure they come out at the right spots. Then we're gonna tighten this beam up. We're gonna put the final holes into the mantle. Here I'm using a ratchet strap and a lag bolt put into a stud to tighten the mantle as tight as I can against the wall so that when I drill my lag bolts into it from the back side, it'll anchor up nice and tight. Okay, well now we just got done boring it. I forgot to turn the camera on. We got done boring it with a 1/2 inch so that our big bolts will go straight down in there with no problem. I'll put on a washer here. I have to torque the rest of her down all the way with this. Hopefully I got long enough in there. It was so hard to ratchet this wood into this mantle, so I decided to get the air ratchet to help me speed this along. All right, well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna go get our impact. We're gonna see if we can't drive it down with our impact. Goodness gracious. Sunk. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and finish all these out and then we'll move on to putting the batten border up. This was my very first time doing board and batten or batten border, whatever it is. My wife told me to do it, so I just did it. We put the first panel up, forgot to put the camera on, but I do have the camera going now on a time lapse, so after we get done talking here, you'll just continue to see time lapse. What we did, we got our thin paneling. We've already painted it, and we're gonna trim over it so we don't have to nail it. We're using a liquid nail for paneling. Squirt it on, apply it, pull it off, smear it a little bit, and and push it back on, and then we're tacking it down the center with our finishing nails. So we're gonna keep doing that, and we're gonna just keep moving on with this fireplace. Without the help of my mom and dad, this wouldn't have been able to be possible to get this done so quickly. My mom tirelessly painted every single panel with a roller, about 3 coats. After I measured them and cut them all and we prefabbed them, she painted them all. And then she also painted all the trim boards that we're going to come back behind this and trim out all this. The main portion of the inspection that we needed to get done was at least closing in the fireplace. It didn't have to be trimmed out. All right, guys, well, you know, like us, we love to burn that midnight oil. So it is now 12:44 in the morning. Linda's up. But something is special about today, because today, starting 45 minutes ago, Linda is now a year older. How old are you, honey?
Let's have the viewers guess.
Okay, everybody, guess how old Linda is today. And this video was when? October 4th. So, we are doing this, whether you're not sure when you're seeing it, but it is October 4th. We have our final inspection tomorrow, and it just rolled over into her birthday, and I'm taking Elijah elk hunting in the morning, so we are literally trying to get this whole thing finished because it gets inspected in the morning. But happy birthday, Linda. Love you. All right, guys, back to work. Well, the next day we passed our inspection. I took Eli elk hunting and we came back. It was time to start putting on all the 1x4s. And what I did, I took 2 1x4s, glued them, super glued them, and tacked them together. And now I'm liquid nailing them into the corners so that I don't have to use nails. After I got all the corners done, Linda suggested that I adjust the rock. So I changed the rock up a little bit so that these new 1x4s would go flush all the way around without having it drop down a little bit. We finished the 1x4 trim, and it was time to start putting up our taxidermy. Parts that I did not film was caulking all the edges and the corners. Anything that had a gap, we used white caulking, and then we came back behind it with trim paint. I also filled in any of the nail holes with caulking as well that were showing. Once the elk was mounted, we decided to mount our TV mount, and then I was able to climb behind the fireplace, cut holes, and put in our Cat 6 cable and our electric. It was a pretty good sized TV Linda wanted, and it was going to only go on a mount that we could flex, pull down the mantle so that we didn't have to look up so high. Well, there you have it, guys. We finally got the fireplace finished. We're using the stove to heat the house. Everything looks great. It all worked together very well. We actually got our TV mounted and all our elks mounted, all our deer mounted, turkeys, all the taxidermy is in the house. And it's almost Christmas time, so it's taken us quite a while to get to this point, but we're finally here, and you know, just trying to be a normal family instead of a building family. Oh, thank the Lord. All right, guys, go down there and hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, if you like videos like this. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.